Is this microphone too loud? I think it's fine. Okay. I think. Where did I start? I might have found something. Let me come back. There we go. Oh my goodness. Oh, hair is alright. I have a whole week. Anyways, I have a whole week off from school right now. And today is the first day of the break, so. And already, this day has kind of been a waste, but. I think. I'm not Chinese. I think. I think that's something that's really important that I should look into is understanding my mind. I think that's really important. And understanding how to get this hair down right. What the? Give me a second. Right. So, what have we found? According to this thing, this is week 17. I can't verify that. Well, I can, but I'm not going to right now. But it's been about 2 weeks of not going to the gym. So I know it kind of doesn't look like it. It was even like this during the quarantine. I looked decently in shape despite how bad I was eating. But whatever. I only have a few points. But I'm gonna start by talking about what was on my mind. If I can remember it. I'll get to it. Let me think. I guess I have the luxury that no one really watches these, so I just spend as much time thinking as I'd like and whatnot. luxury. I have to find a way to. I have to make money. Now, looking for jobs in Japan is hard because there will be websites that say they're for foreigners, but then it's like they say for foreigners, but I specifically need like jobs where very little knowledge of Japanese is okay. And usually you just get like a call, it'll be like straight Japanese, and it's like, oh great, I can't like talk to you. And they're like, oh, too bad. I guess if we look into my financial situation, I have three options. I could start up something. I just remember what I was going to talk about. I could start up something. I could apply for jobs, and then there's cryptocurrency. Now, apparently, there are people, and of course, people would do this. There are ways that people, the elites, I guess, of this world, are legally stealing. I'll just stop it right there. Um, I don't know. I wonder if like we'll get to a point where people just start getting desperate with how like the economy's going and stuff like that. Like the middle class isn't the same middle class it was back then. Like apparently, I think my dad said he like paid for his college with like McDonald's. Like the what? Nah. But yeah, the middle class isn't the same as it was back then, and I think like literally every year, the money prices, the value of assets change, but like by the quarter. They're always changing. Yet the reason why I guess modern people are quote unquote poor is because they're stuck in their ways. People stop learning and all these things. But what I was gonna talk about, I've been running into a wall lately because actually starting things like that, even the business thing that I told you, is very. How would I describe it? It's very uncomfortable, confusing, difficult, all these things. And I'll even add in hopeless. That's a big one. I don't want to ruin the microphone quality, but it's like getting hot in here. I'll live. But what I mean is that I I've seen that when it comes to these difficult things, what I usually do is I just give up. And that's honestly what most people do. It's even at a point where yeah, I just give up. And I remember I was thinking to myself about a math analogy for this, which I guess it's actually the second point of my notes. I wrote stuck in the unknown. And what I mean by this is that when we were all in math class, I use math class as my personal example. Growing up, I was like the math kid. And when you're in math class, you're pretty good at math. You could see the patterns and understand what I wouldn't say understand the formulas, but know when to use the formulas and stuff like that. When you're like that, you're pretty confident because you already know, right? But then we all had that time in math class where the teacher would give us like a problem that we just couldn't understand. We couldn't understand at all. And even like the top brains in your class were just dumbfounded. Maybe not dumbfounded, but they were just absolutely puzzled. They couldn't understand it. And so what would we do? Do kids A, keep trying and keep trying, using everything that they have? Or B, give up? Ask for a teacher. So I think that when it comes to these problems, giving up is something that we often do. I think it's just something that we're all born to do, especially when you're raised around everyone else who basically takes the easy path. Well, when you're raised around everyone with the same mindset, you can develop the same mind. So I guess that's something that really needs to be trained. Being able to sit there uncomfortable, confused, and even hopeless. I may have already said this in last week's video, but something that I have to learn to do is to try. Go into things with the mindset of trying. I recently had I definitely talked about this, but like 2 weeks ago, there was something. I remember I took my hand, I grabbed my arm, and I was absolutely disappointed. 3 months of training. It seemed like no progress at all. On top of that, I have data. I've written measurements and all this stuff. Almost no change. So I think it's another part that we just grew up with is like when it comes to difficult things, if it seems hopeless, we won't do it. If it seems futile, we won't do it. I guess what we're seeing is that in life there are challenges, there are mountains that are so high, so difficult that it's almost like it seems impossible. And so, why even try? But it's specifically that I have to, I guess, reprogram. Actually trying. Or even if it is hopeless, to keep trying, keep moving. I guess after that, what else? I guess I could go back to talk about the currency. No. I remember now. Another thing that I was thinking about, I've it's don't laugh. But recently I've been watching these video monologues. It's like the last thing. Like I can understand watching like full anime, but like video monologue with the AI voice and all that stuff. What? But yeah, I've been like watching those, and I watched one specifically. This guy kind of just kept progressing his life. Now, of course, he had like for most of these things, there's usually like a debuff or something that the person has So like for in this example, the guy had like decades of business knowledge and real estate and all this stuff, and like woke up in another life as a younger man. So it's like obviously he has like the time. They always usually most for the most part have like something. But seeing him like progress his life, just focus on the next step. And I even see this somewhat in Project Zomboid. It's always just like focus on the next step. And I find myself watching these things. It's almost like I'm playing video games in the sense that I'm looking at achievements that have nothing to do with my actual life. It's like, well then why in the world am I not looking at my actual life? I'd rather bury my head. These are just questions. I don't have the answers. I'll have to look at myself. I guess other than that, change my lifestyle. I'm gonna write down one more thing, because I don't want to forget it. It has to do with skills. Changing my lifestyle. Room's still a mess. And I'll even revert back to the manhwa that we just saw. Sorry, that I saw like a few days ago. The thing is, what I noticed is that from the beginning, when he was a like poor man with a fruit stand, to when he was dealing with billions. Bear with me for a second. But what I noticed was that throughout the whole 3 hours the story was, his mindset, his progression was the exact same. Nothing really changed. And you'll hear like Andrew Tate say stuff. He'll say like, you are exactly where you deserve to be. Obviously, if I have the mindset and live the lifestyle of everyone else, then I'm going to be like everyone else. Now, I'm a tiny bit different. Like most 19-year-olds aren't going to Japan. But I have to change my lifestyle. And I guess maybe looking back on it, maybe a mistake I've been making is thinking that I could change it all, I guess instantaneously or whatever. I guess I have to learn to narrow my focus and just look at the very next step ahead of me. And then the last point I want to talk about are skills. How long is this video? Like 18 minutes? Training skills. Because I think earlier I talked about how when things seem impossible, it's like, why even try? Why even bother? And I would stop. And seeing all this lack of progression, it's like, how in the world am I actually supposed to build a skill? Like, I have skills, but I'm not exceptional at anything. I'm not even worth the hire. I'm just a casual. It's like, well, how in the world am I supposed to build skills? If I keep doing the same thing, if I keep like putting in the reps, I find that I have no growth. And what I was just thinking about, which actually I learned this from a video about Batman's training and like how he's able to keep up with his skills despite like the lack of time he has in his day. It was very interesting. With the video, if maybe I'll link it in the description. I think I've even spoken about this video before, like a previous episode, if you will. But what's interesting is that these skills are kept sharp by adding challenge to your training. I think that's why I've been somewhat stalled. And it actually makes sense. Like when you're in school, do you just learn the same thing every day? No, it like builds, it progresses. There's more and more added. I think that's what I've been missing. I haven't been adding challenge to the things I've been trying to do, including the gym. And so, whether it's the gym or Japanese or whatever, I will try to find ways to challenge myself. Everything has to be very intentional, it seems like. And then I guess finally, I guess I just seek knowledge. I can put it. I was looking into some things on cryptocurrency and stuff like that. I even learned like a term, the lion share. I think that you hear like KPIs and all these like financial terms. I think the only way you could really just learn them and know them is if you just stay in the financial world. So that is pretty much it. As for my money situation, once again, I have to find out why in the world I genuinely, and I guess this is just what I do in these rough situations. I hide. It seems like I would hide and distract myself despite financial constraints. So, but anyways, thank you and have a good one.